Hi, and welcome to the Mexican Angler channel. This will be my first video, primarily informational, nothing really too much on fishing, actual fishing videos. I will insert a few clips I took yesterday of me casting. Didn't really catch any fish. I hooked up with one, but lost a bass when he jumped and flopped around and took the hook out. But this is more informational, just to show you where this channel pretty much stemmed from, where my love for BFS stemmed from. Like everyone, I started off with the spinning and just super generic rod and reel. I've always loved fishing. I started watching more YouTube videos on it, and I started watching people who had bait casters. Thought it was going to be a huge learning curve. Went out and bought one. One of my first rods was a Daiwa, and the reel itself was a Abu Garcia Black Max. I think the combination total was maybe like $200 at the most. And started hitting up my local pond at the time down in San Diego, California. It was primarily a bass, maybe here and there a little bluegill pond and lake. Really enjoyed it. And I've always been a big bass fan, but primarily my favorite fish, I'd have to say, is a trout, whether it's a brown trout, rainbow trout. I started looking into them more. I know that they're a very sensitive fish. The way you handle them, how easily they can die. And then stumbled across the Japanese-based YouTube channel, and I honestly can't remember their name right now. It's a gentleman with some ridiculous setup. I can only imagine how much it cost him, but he's in the Japanese streams fishing with this super crazy, which I still haven't been able to master, but like an underhand cast where he'll go like this, and then he'll flick it, and it'll go like 3,000 yards. But I was like, wow, that's kind of cool. This dude's throwing out tiny little lures. Started looking into it, and the first person who really talked about it much that I can obviously understand in English was a gentleman with a channel called BCSG Fishing. Started following him, watching his videos, and it wasn't until, and I'm just looking up on my tablet here for reference, it wasn't until he posted a video, and I'm trying to find the exact date here. It was a video that said how to start BFS, if I remember correctly. Rod and reel for under, I think it said like $150. So I know that it's way back there somewhere, and I'm trying to find it really quick. I don't know if I'll be able to find it. So basically a video, it's looking like it's already past 5 years. Probably gonna be like a good 6-7 years. It's him in the preview video where it's all blacked out. And I watched the video. He talks about pseudonoia, I think. I'm trying to find the exact video so I can give you a little bit more information. Pseudonoia XF50. So that was actually my first reel, my first BFS reel. So funny story, I remember when I first went into Turner's down in San Diego, and I obviously had no knowledge or expertise or in any of this, so I was just as brand new as possible. I remember I walked up to the guy and I'm like, hey, do you guys sell any ultralight or light fishing poles for casting? And he looked at me and he's like, why would you want that? And I said, well, hear me out. And I explained it to him. He's like, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. He's like, and keep in mind, this guy's white. He's all like, this is America. Well, not really, but the way I portrayed it. This is America. This is bass fishing, and we do heavy rods with the fast action, and you tie up a 30-pound line with braid, and you catch that sucker, and you whatever. So I was like, all right, whatever. Went home. Actually ended up ordering a Kuying Teton 6 I believe it's 661 or 662. It's a one piece. And that's the other thing about fishing is I've never really been a big fan of segmental rods, like 2-3 pieces. Always been a one piece rod kind of guy. It's really more because not for the portability. I mean, the portability is great, but I've had really bad experiences with 2 pieces, 3 pieces, where like the connecting spot will, I don't know. I know it's not supposed to, but it'll come off while I'm fishing or casting. But I don't really cast that hard. So, I went to that, started researching, started following more BFS channels. And, I came across a couple more channels. I mean, some of these aren't really BFS, but you got my man over here, Extreme Philly Fishing. Some other people that I follow is One Rod, One Reel. There's one dude in, I believe it's Thailand. His name is Chai Fishing. Creek Fishing Adventures. Let's go down the line here. Rar Fishing. He also is a huge person for BFS. If you have any other questions or videos that you want to watch. Hobie One Kenobi. I've picked up a few lures. Bait Finesse Empire. Just recently have spent like $1,000 on there. I'm kidding, but not really. Let's see, who else? JP Fishing Brazil. He's not BFS, but I still enjoy his videos. Larry Melton Jr. He's a new guy. He's actually really fun to watch. Who else? I feel like there's one more person that really stands out. The Ginger Fisherman. Tiny Tail. I think that's pretty much about it. Everyone else, I don't really pay too much attention to. I just subscribe and follow. Eventually, when it finally did come out, and keep in mind at the time, really the only way you could buy all these rods and reels were from AliExpress. Ordered my Suranoya, my Kuying from AliExpress. Started watching and following these people more and more. Another dude who I really owe a lot of information to in terms of knowledge is the reel testing. He actually as well tested out the Kuying with kind of other rods as well with the Suranoya. Once it did finally come out was the Spirit Fox by Suranoya. And I love that thing. I beat it up so bad these last few years between that. It's a light blue, it's a shiny light blue. And I paired that up with my Kuying, and then I had, which is now my go-to rod. But at the time I had paired a purple, it was a matte purple Spirit Fox. I don't know if either of these were actually legit made from Suranoya, but supposedly they were. Ordered both from AliExpress. I had paired the purple up with a St. Croix, and excuse me if I butcher any of these names, but the St. Croix inshore bass fishing. It's not bass, but inshore fishing. It's actually rated for both fresh and salt water, but I was using it because it's a BFS rod that was never meant to be a BFS rod. It's a 7-foot moderate. It's a moderate medium rod. And from the middle up to the tip of the rod, this thing is like spaghetti. It's a noodle, right? It's a 7-foot. It's rated for as low as 1/16 up to almost like an ounce, I believe. And that is now currently paired up with, I recently made a big purchase with my dream purchase, actually. I've always enjoyed the round, growing up I always saw them, were the round reels, circular. I've always been looking. I've never been able to find a reputable company to buy it from, but I finally managed to find a reputable website that I was able to purchase a Shimano Calcutta BFS HG and all my reels are left retrieve. I was able to purchase that for about $400 overseas from Japan, and this thing came within like 2 to 3 days. I'm just surprised that I can get something from Japan quicker than I can from somewhere else in the United States. So I paired that up now. I was using it with my Kuiying, but it felt like there was something like, it felt like the Kuiying couldn't achieve the maximum distance that I could. So I paired that up with the St. Croix inshore, and man, I can toss this thing like 30, 40, 50 feet with very minimal effort. And I've adapted this little like a wind up side throw, and I'll post some of the videos here that I took on my GoPro yesterday. It's basically you'll hold and right throw with the left retrieve, so I'll hold the butt stock, the butt, and the reel, and I'll throw it. I'll kind of wind up like this, so and then I'll throw it out like that, and I'm able to throw as little as 1/16 lure out, only with thumb control, because I don't trust the brakes on any reel. I have trust issues. So I'll post some videos of that. So my current setup, and I'll post some videos as well that I took of my current small backpack that I take with me to fishing. Now keep in mind, fishing in SoCal is horrible. To get into a decent lake, you gotta pay. If you wanna fish, decent fish, you gotta pay. So near me, there's a little lake that I like to go to, super tiny little dinky bass, but you know, with BFS, it makes them feel like giants. So I'm not out there to catch the 5-pound, 2-foot long bass, master cast, whatever. I enjoy it for the fun, for the sport. And one day, and I have not, but one day I will catch a trout. But the local lakes here would, it's very scarce with the fish and the stocking. And you know, California, it's a desert. Fishing here sucks. Don't come here for fishing unless you're going for sea fishing or deep sea fishing. But I'll post some of the videos of my tackle. I'll post some of the rods. And then when I do manage to go out fishing, because you have to understand that, you know, I'm a father, I have a kid, I have a couple kids. It's hard to be able to set time apart to be able to go fish. With that being said, that's why we have this introductory video with no real true fishing. But I mean, this channel will be basically extremely non-professional as could be. I mean, I'll show you like the stuff that I buy. So if you eye it, I mean, we could be looking at the same stuff. At least you'll know you don't have to waste your money. You know, I'll show you what lures I'm using, what line I'm using, my rod and reel combination, which right now is probably, and at the time, the St. Croix rod that I had bought maybe ran for like 180, and I don't know if it's still made or if it's still sold anywhere, but I think I might have seen one for about 120 recently. The Shimano Calcutta was about 400. I have a Field and Stream Light Tech or something like that. It's a spinning rod. That was only like $50. I have a Shimano Sedona 500. I have 2 Pseudonia Spirit Foxes and the one, what is it, the Daiwa, and the Abu Garcia Black Max reel. Seeing as how I don't use any of those anymore, I mean, I'll probably keep my spinning combo for my kids when they are old enough to start fishing and want to come out with me, because spinning rod and reel combination I feel like is always easier to learn. I'll probably keep that, but in terms of like my other rods and reels, if it ever comes down to developing a decent following, probably honestly even give those out for free in some type of giveaway. Lures that I don't use that I know catch fish, you know, I can do a giveaway. And basically it's just going to be you coming along with me on my fishing adventures. Nothing fancy. No, I mean, as of right now. Nothing high tech, nothing sophisticated, just getting in there. Just getting in there, okay? So with that being said, thanks for watching if you're still with me. I'll be inserting some pictures and some videos here of some of my catches and from yesterday's unfortunate situation. Like I said, I went fishing to my local tiny little lake. It's a public lake, and you know, I hooked up with one bass. It was okay sized. Dude jumped out of the water, flip-flopped, floppity-flop, and just and hook came out. And then just 2 other follows and bites, nothing crazy. So I didn't really catch anything. I didn't reel anything in. So no pictures from that, but I do have a video. But yeah, stay tuned. Any questions, concerns, comments, please go ahead. Feel free to leave them down below. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your dogs, your cats, hamsters, dogs, cats, birds, maybe your uncle about this channel. But yeah, peace out.